Okay, we are fueling up for taxi test number 2. We have the even heavier springs in there, and it is much more stable, and the stance is, it's a little towed in, but it's not full of fuel either. I'm not sure if I like the little towed in look. I may take and lighten that primary spring up and keep the heavy main one, but at this point mainly I'm looking for it to be stable on the taxi test and not it was really sloppy. It really wanted to kind of rock back and forth when it was underweight, and so we're gonna find out what we got here. It should be pretty full of fuel pretty soon. We got this little taxi tank. I don't see any fuel going up the deal, but I was supposed to be out at Texas Jets this weekend, and the rain was pretty heavy, and we just everybody that I know decided not to. I miss you guys at Texas Jet. I'm there in spirit. Maybe next year. So that's where we're at right now. Little taxi test. Gonna try to maiden it tomorrow, but not at this airfield. If I can get down to Waco, which is only an hour drive for me, an hour and 20 minutes. Who's cared? Who's counting? But I would like to maiden it on a longer runway. But it's way past due to maiden. So I'm ready for that. Get that part over with and get to the fun part where we're flying it all the time. I'm pretty sure I can get it into this airfield pretty easily. It's 450 feet, concrete runway. I would rather it be more like 600, but it's a north wind today, and it's always a challenge on the north wind days is coming in above that tree line and getting your rate of fall right. On the south wind, we got wide open lake. Approach is really easy. So I just want to be really relaxed when I'm maiden it. So I'm gonna go where there's a longer runway and go from there, because you never know what can come up, and the last thing you want to do is be stressed when you're flying a plane that's this big. So looks like I'm pulling in some fuel and air into the taxi tank. It's almost full. That's the other thing with all these tanks. You really need a taxi tank because it takes a second to pump out all the air. There it is right there. Okay, so I'm gonna get the engine fired up and run it up and down the runway and report back. Well, it leaked a lot of fuel when I pulled the taxi tank off. I need to put it in reverse when I'm doing that. So just another little part of the journey, kind of learn each one of these planes, the idiosyncrasies. But I thought I'd share that. Lots of fuel on the ground. Fortunately, we're concrete, so it won't hurt. All right, I wanted to video, let me get this aspect. I wanted to video the taxi tests, but I couldn't hold the camera and taxi the plane. But there it is. It's sitting pretty. It's towed in just a little bit, but you know what? I like it. It is really stable. When I turn it, the wing dips just a little bit instead of like sloshing all around. But what I wanted to show you is, man, that new controller, that new brake controller is amazing. You see those two little lines right there? You see that? That is emergency stop, right? I left a little rubber behind. I fixed that, and there's a bunch of settings in there to actually slow the braking time, or slow the acceleration of the brake down. But here's the deal, and you can see some little lines. Anyway, they're on down there. At half power, at half brake, it stops pretty daggone quick. As a matter of fact, it was stopping so good, I went ahead and turned the braking gyro on to, like, you know, its lowest setting, but it still, it kept it stable. And so I may fire it back up and turn the braking gyro up just a little bit more. It's ready to go. And I wish I had a way to video this thing to show you, but it's getting down the runway really good. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. I went ahead and just did a finger test on the CG. It feels good. I mean, this baby is ready to get into the air. My goal is tomorrow to get out to that longer runway. I just want the comfort of having a little more room to land it on the first flight. But man, it's real tempting, guys. It is real tempting. We got a beautiful north wind, and which I prefer a south wind, because north wind means I've got to come in over those trees. They might look far away, but when you're coming in, they're not far enough. So I'm gonna stick to my promise I made to myself, and I'm not gonna maiden it today. Everything working out, I'll head to Waco and I will maiden it tomorrow. Not a pinky promise, but that's the goal. All right, guys, talk to you later. All right, first blood. I knocked one of these off. Little damage. It was kind of jacked up anyway. I already fixed the other side. So back to the shop, do a little repair, fix that. And what I did is I cut a bigger hole here and put an actual rubber grommet on top of that. This is really not ideal because the head of the screw is kind of halfway in there. So we'll fix that. It was bound to happen. The side's pretty good. Wing's in good shape. No damage there. It's time to get flying scratches on there. No big deal. Ground tests are good. We're ready for liftoff. I'll holler at you guys later. So.